Hey guys, Penna Daily here with my 7th anniversary video. Man, how time flies. This has been a year. Lost my job in April and have been hunting ever since, and been dealing with burnout on a few fronts. Pro tip for other autistic people: masking is an effort, even if it's not a conscious one. I should not have taken a job in a small, very conservative office. Lesson learned. But let's move on to the fun stuff, the retrospective on the year's projects. We started off with Transaruby, which was a cute little Metroidvania one of my viewers threw my way. Mostly because their hands were not up to the task of playing it, but they really wanted to see someone dig into the game. And who am I to say no to my burb? I'm glad I didn't, because Transaruby was fun. Short, cute, not too hard to play, and with an interesting, if occasionally opaque, story. The pixel graphics were lovely, the music was great, and I just had a fun time. I go back and play it for fun sometimes, even. Next was the Room 4, Old Sins. I hadn't thought I'd be able to do this one, as there wasn't a PC version out the last time I'd looked. But that changed, and I was right there. This was also a ton of fun, and I may never have made so many jokes about black mold in my life. I will not be playing the 5th game, no matter what versions come out, as VR makes me hurl. I mean, if they somehow make a non-VR version, sure, but I think that's harder than doing it the other way around. This is a good series of puzzle games, creepy without being too horrific, and usually not too bullshit in their solutions. Glad I found them. And then Bloodstained, Child of Light. I really enjoyed this one too, because Bloodstained. But I liked the rhyming, the shard collection and upgrade methods were just different enough to be fun, and the combat was an interesting mix without being balls hard like Zangetsu or Bloodless modes. I just wished finding that 7th Rubella shard had been a little more intuitive. And at that point I was making plans to LP Grandia 2, when the burnout came up and hit me over the head with a half brick and a sock. Much as I love the game, I just couldn't face the prospect of a long LP like that at the time. There may have been some lingering exhaustion from Destiny of the Oracles. I love you, Eucles, but there is this concept called too much of a good thing. To my rescue came TMNT Shredder's Revenge, which played on every bit of nostalgia I had for a childhood fandom, and did it like Yo-Yo Ma with a Stradivarius cello. This game was an absolute joy, and I knew as soon as I touched it that I had to do it for the channel. Even if I had to play on easy mode and suck like an orc, this was the 87 Ninja Turtles, a show which was highly formative for my sense of humor, and one I can still quote episodes of to this day. James Avery will always be best Shredder. I did this one as post-commentary, mostly because I didn't want the LP curse to make me worse at beat-em-up games than I already am naturally, and because it meant I could point out references and historical info much more easily. Then I wound up playing another round of Bloodstained Randomizer, this time with Dominique as the final goal. This one was done mostly because I was floundering for something to do that could inspire roughly the same level of enthusiasm in me as TMNT had, and I knew I liked Bloodstained. I could play that forever. And hey, randomizers are always new and different, right? And then one of my Discord buddies mentioned a new ROM hack, Super Metroid Subversion, and most tellingly, the fact that it advertised itself as being completable without wall jumping, shine spark tricks, or mockballing. And it really was exactly that. There were a few moments of bullshit difficulty, I don't approve of what they did with Spore Spawn, but in all other ways the challenge was fair and the bits I couldn't do didn't break the game for me. The second quest is out of reach as it requires wall jumping, sadly. Still, great hack, and it was nice to play a Metroid fan game for once, not just Zelda. Then we went back to the randomizers. Link to the Past Randomizer is a very fun game, and if you're better at pulling off input manipulation than I am, you can do some ridiculous things with it. We got a pretty slow seed, but I might try it again down the line with a different sprite, and maybe some more things messed with. Aria of Sorrow Randomizer was one I'd done before, but this one had changed so much it was practically a different game. Much like with AM2R, honestly. It was fun to be a bit more adventurous with what I switched up, though I'm still not nearly as crazy as the people who swap enemy stats. No, thank you. But again, I love Aria with all my heart, so this was a good way to keep the enthusiasm burning while doing something new. And then the tendinitis hit, or at least was diagnosed. Oops. And that put a bit of a kink in things, but I'm definitely doing better now. Which brings us to our current LP, Sonic Frontiers. This is going up roughly alongside episode 21. As I write this, I have just finished episode 32, and have probably 2 more I'll have to record. I talked in the game's intro about how much this game meant to me, and how happy it made me. As I said there, the process of playing this game and setting up for the LP helped me come to terms with the fact that I'm technically disabled, which has had me wrestling with some internalized ableism and making a few changes to the way I think about things. How's that for self-improvement? Not to mention that I figured out how to do live commentary through the Elgato, so don't have to run Audacity and the capture card at the same time. Don't at me, I miss shit. But also, I am about to complete a modern AAA game, a Sonic the Hedgehog game, within a year of its release. Other people are still Let's Playing this game. I'm getting recommended by the algorithm. That's honestly not something I ever saw coming. I do this for fun, to share my love of games with you. I'm not looking for 1 million subscribers. Honestly, when I realized I'd passed 100, I was shocked. Those of you who comment, like, and subscribe mean the world to me, because it's a connection that I don't always have with people. This world is full of ups and downs, good games, bad games, and meh games, horrors and wonders, and the occasional cargo ship stuck in the Suez Canal. But it means a lot to me that I've got all you guys to share it with. So stay safe, take care of yourselves and each other, wash your flippers, and let's boldly go into another year of penguin playing. Thank you, and good night.